The coordinator of the group in Tanzania is Rebecca Muna, and she's sending us you all greetings, and she's very sorry that she couldn't come due to this transit visa problem. And what they have done also, they have done the research, just like in all the other countries. They look at the different, sorry, this is not on now. They look at the different actors and the structures of climate policy in Tanzanian national level. And now more recently, they have that research can be downloaded from our website, and you can also have a look at that. But the main results of that research is that there are structures, national structures in place, but they remain paper structures, so they have not actually taken action to implement, especially the incorporation of the NGOs has been poor. They have not been heard. Now, for the first time before the Cancun meeting, the NGOs were invited to see some of the positions of the Tanzanian government before the negotiations. But most of the time, even the national negotiators are struggling because they do not have the resources to follow all the issues, and they are sort of mostly following the G77 position due to the restrictions on the resources. And the recent research in which CGP Tanzania also took part is the economics of climate change in Tanzania. It's been done by the UK Department of Foreign, what is it, the Development Corporation, and the Tanzanian government. And the key messages from the research are that current climate variability, especially droughts and floods, already lead to significant economic costs in Tanzania, with individual annual events leading to losses of at least 1% of GDP. And the future climate change could lead to additional large economic costs, while uncertain aggregate models indicate net economic costs could be equivalent to a loss of 1 or 2% of the GDP per year by 2030. The projections of climate change for Tanzania show increases in temperature, but more variation for future rainfall, with possible increases or decreases in many areas. While this highlights the uncertainty in current knowledge, this is not a reason for inaction. And potentially large impacts with high economic cost could arise in a range of sectors, including coastal zones, agriculture, health, water, infrastructure, and biodiversity. Adaptation can reduce climate impacts, but it has a cost and will require significant finance. Accessing these funds requires development of effective policy, institutions, and mechanisms. And the study has outlined a number of recommendations and future priorities. The most important is that Tanzania should prepare a national adaptation strategy, get ready, and act now. And on the NGO side, the biggest event is the Trans-African Caravan of Hope, which is actually already moving. So it's a bus caravan that is crossing Burundi, Rwanda, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Malawi, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Swaziland, Namibia, Botswana, Lesotho, and South Africa, arriving in Durban for the Conference of Parties for the UNFCCC, the next climate negotiations meeting. And this is a major mobilization which brings together different sector-based networks of farmers, faith-based organizations, indigenous peoples, youth, women, and pastoralists. And In addition to these countries and the groups, the mobilization has gone beyond. So there are participants from other African regions, West, North and Central Africa, who are committing to converge in Nairobi to be part of the caravan to Durban. And also increasing interest from Asian and Latin American activists, and some from developed countries who have indicated their willingness to converge in Nairobi for the caravan. And the objectives of this caravan is to create awareness and build momentum towards UNFCCC COP17 among African people and the rest of the world, to lobby and pressurize African leaders, policymakers to work together in support of an international climate change treaty that is responsive to the continent's realities and the reality of science, to drum up support for pro-people and just responses to climate change, to share civil society and African people's minimum expectations of the COP17 through presentation of petitions to the heads of states in each participating country. And the activities, each country team is organizing national events that boost the visibility of the caravan. And these are including, but not limited to, workshops, rallies, vigils, visits to communities, and concerts. And the activities culminate in actions targeted to at top government officials within each country, whereby the participants will hand over their signed petitions, statements of position, as developed by the people, to inform the delegations of the demands for the COP17. And for example, in Tanzania, they already had the participation of the coastal communities. They had a the traditional boat ride, and that took place on the 15th. And the main activities in Dar es Salaam take place on the 18th, which is pretty soon. So there's a lot of going on, and the group is sending you greetings and hopes that you follow these activities via internet. And more information can be also found on our website. So, thank you.